like a Hellcat.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Jean Wolf again. Same shirt, as you can tell. This particular one, this video, I'm going to try to put everything in there. Slightly sore throat. But yeah, let's go ahead and just put this in here, and then I can start talking a little bit more. As you can tell here at the bottom of the screen, I have 1 through 6 day of my stamps. Looked kind of cool when I was trying to cram them together. And then, of course, you have the 7th day, which is the field research completed box. This will be fun box 3 for me, so should have 1 more box by the end of the month. Getting closer at that. But yep, I got this box. After clicking it, I guess one of the update they had popped up with this. So when you click the box the first time, you get your rewards, and this pops up to where you can click to automatically start the encounter, or you can click later to catch it later in case maybe you're a student or maybe you're trying to get to work or something, so you can click later and worry about it whenever you're able to at a better time. So that's actually useful for quite a few people. Of course, didn't have any recording thing for this one. Just made it short and sweet. Got the Moltres 1369. It's cool having 3 legendaries finally. It's awesome. Took, I think, 8 or 9 balls to get them though. 8 or 9 balls. Ultra. Matter of fact, it was 1 great ball and 8 ultra balls. And all of those with golden raspberries. Trying to catch him, so he let me catch him. I got worried maybe he was going to run away or something. But just after that, some stuff popped up. They mentioned the community day for May. For some odd reason, my phone didn't want to load it, so as you can tell on the left part of this particular picture, it's gray and black charcoal on the bottom and completely white on top. It's like, where was the picture? So I went back through my news thing and screenshotted that because that loaded up properly. So, and of course, what this is mentioning, all this information, May 19th will be the community day for May. And this one time around, Charmander. And I started going through shinies. It's like my all-time favorite. If I'm thinking right, out of everything I went through, because I was trying to figure out what could my possible favorite Pokemon be. I already knew of one of them. I love Pikachu. However, that's actually my second best. My second favorite. My all-time favorite is Charizard. Always had a fascination for dragons and wolves and many other different creatures, but out of all the Pokemon, to me, he's not a not a dragon, so it's ironic, but he still looks it to me. He'll always be that dragon to me. But with him being shiny, since I hadn't been looking through shinies, I knew him as the regulars. I started going through and realized the nickname of Black Charizard. I didn't know that was shiny Charizard. So this is going to be a fun one. Now, whenever they release Generation 4, however long ago into this year, whatever it is, no telling exactly when, I'm hoping they go ahead and do something about the Mega Evolutions. Because to me, the 2 best Pokemon to have would be Shiny Charizard and Mega Charizard X, I believe. I believe it'd be the X. I didn't know there was an X and a Y because I only followed the original Pokemon. But yeah, whenever that came out, that's like, wow. It's going to be an exciting month. Or at least whenever that does, anyway. I still got a while to wait. So, okay. I've been trying to go over several things. I wasn't sure if I was able to record this or do it or say anything about it. As I said, I'm keeping my shirts for all these late videos, trying to get it finished doing, and my sore throat, well, there's a reason behind that. Matter of fact, the title of my video at the very end says "The Fires from Hell." There's a reason. And that reason, I was gearing up to go ahead and get different videos done, go through them, editing them, getting them out real fast, finally be somewhat on time. I got all the stuff ready to do, just pop them out one after the other. And I think it was going to be the next day, whenever that was. Well, I wasn't completely asleep whenever some of this happened. I was awake, and there was banging at the front door. Mom wound up getting up, going to the door, going from there, and found out what was all going on. Shoved my shoes on and grabbed my my very bright flashlight. There's nothing that could be done on it. My oldest sister and her family, they had a trailer and whatnot. It burned. It's been hitting me over and over, but hasn't actually hit me yet. Not fully. I'm hoping it doesn't just yet, so I can keep getting stuff done. But everything happened, dealing with them, her kids, trying to keep them cheered up, trying to keep them going, and then us going too, with them being family and everything so close. I think the main reason I'm putting this in the video to begin with, because I originally wasn't going to at all. I'm not going to go in full-on detail, but the main gist of this is basically for everyone else to keep an eye out, and hopefully you don't have to go through this, or if you do, hopefully you're prepared, because I think part of what hit me was if my niece would not have gotten up and been able to wake anyone else up, if she had opened a door to get out, whenever she did, it could have been worse for how fast it burned. The fact that she woke up at all was a blessing. She was able to get everyone up. They ran out in time, because whenever they got out, that was basically the only time they had to be able to get up, to be able to get out. My niece, she's a hero. I'm almost tearing up trying to do this video. The main part that hit me, my brother-in-law, or older sister's husband, basically, me and him's been going through what's left of the place, and I think the first time I was getting close to tearing up was going through pictures, trying to see what pictures could be salvaged, things I can cut spots off, and we just play around, make a collage out of them or something. But there were some pictures I didn't know existed. I thought maybe they had already been trashed or something by now, or something. But one of the pictures I picked up and was looking at was my very first birthday. I didn't even know there was any pictures of that. Not that we're still here anyway. And then looking through other pictures that were there, some we found, some of them they're messed up. You'll never get the original unless somebody else has a wallet, which we're hoping. There's a bunch we can do, but there's always so much you can do with stuff. Yeah, the reason from my throat was everything that happened. Everything that happened was early morning, in the middle of night, basically. It's cold. It got even colder as the morning air came through, and morning air and whatnot. I got a sore throat. Been trying to keep away from possibly catching a cold, so. And I'm not the only one. And we were all out there comforting and cheering up, getting them inside, out of the cold, and going from there. So it's hard. With them being very close family and whatnot, it's the thought of that happening to anyone. The thought of that happening to anyone at all is rough. But yeah, we've been going through stuff after stuff after stuff, trying to get everything we can that might get destroyed by rain done, out, finished, figured out where it's going to go, shove it in a box, go through it later on just as fast as we could. Today it finally rained, so since I'm not over there, putting pretty much everything I got, or free time, or whatever you want to call it, into helping with that. Because yesterday we took a short break and we were wore out. Today I figured go ahead and get the video stuff recorded, finished, get it done. And then whenever I get to the next video, we'll do that. But the main gist of why I'm trying to put this in a video, not too much detail might I add, but as much as I can, is the fact of, from what we know, is a heater. Now, it could have been the fact that the heater, since it's an electric heater, or some people call them space heaters, it could have been the filament popped. It could have been arcing and started. It could have been, since they draw all electricity, it could have popped a wire and started in the wall. It could have, there's just so many different things about. All we know is that was supposedly what started it, because that's the only thing that made pretty much any sense of anything in there, because nothing else, as far as we know, had any issues. But yeah, there's just so much you can do and stuff like that. That sucker, like I said, I put on my shoes. I was gonna see what I could do to try and save. I figured if it was just a small fire, maybe we could put it out real quick. As soon as I realized how much fire, and the fact that that whole bedroom was on fire, I realized that if I would have opened a door, it would have backdrafted at me. I would have got burned. And that's not including if it wasn't already in that room, because the smoke was so thick you could not see into the house. You couldn't tell where the fire actually was, except for outside. It followed the insulation, and that was it. It was a matchstick, basically. It burned that fast. We were glad the fire department here in town was able to go ahead and put it out. Me being the son of a retired fireman, I know quite a bit of that stuff, and even when I mentioned to him about what I realized that it would have been a backdraft, he said that's what it looked to him as well whenever he finally looked at everything over there. Nobody, no child, literally nobody should have to go through something like this. So the main thing for me to be able to mention to you, anyone that's watching this or keeping an eye on anything I post, keep an eye on every sound in your house. Know what each sound is. If you have heaters, know what they sound like. Because electric heaters, you normally can tell by the way they sound or by the way they smell. You can tell when they're going bad. Possible stuff that are in the wall, maybe that'll be able to help somebody just to keep an eye on it. Anything you don't feel right being on, don't have it on. Just literally no. And if you have to have it plugged in from Walmart or whatever place you shop at, try to go after things that, like, there are some surge protectors out there, or if there's a problem with the electricity flow into it, that you can plug one part into the wall, another part into what you're using, and it'll just flip off. That you have to reset the device, It's one of the things my little sister has in her room. You plug it into the wall. It's got a button on it. And then the other part, you plug whatever into it. It's an extension cord, but they have surge protector stuff that are basically little blocks that you plug into the wall. And any electricity goes through it, even a little bit more than it's supposed to, or if there's something wrong with it, such as like fire, stuff like that, anything wrong, that little thing, it'll flip. You'll have to press the button to get it to work again. However, that may save somebody else. It could easily save yourself even if you're asleep or doing something and don't know about it. Maybe it'll keep things from getting bad enough to where you can possibly save what you do have. So just keep an eye on everything. Be as prepared and safe as you can. Know where your exits are. If you need to just duck out a friggin' window, do it. Anything you can. Know exactly what you can do to be as prepared as possible for any fire of any kind that could possibly mess up a home. Because you never know if it's you or someone you know or anything. This was completely unexpected. Surprised everyone. Other than being surprised, it mostly just scared us. We were glad they were able to get out. Now, they did have a couple pet birds. They didn't. But for how toxic the smoke was, that basically would have been very quick. But we're just glad that they made it out. For how thick and how toxic everything was with the smoke and everything. Like I said, my niece, she is a hero. She saved them. My oldest sister, she was at work. She didn't even know what had happened until later on. So it's hard to talk about. So the main thing, I think I'm just going to cut it off right here. Just pay attention to everything you have. Every sound, nook and cranny, everything that goes on, to the point where if something doesn't sound normal, figure out what it is. Because if it's not basic and it turns out to be something bad and you need to be able to stop it or fix it or something, then you know. I think that's the only thing left to be said. I guess until the next video, whatever it winds up being, I don't even know what it'll be just yet. I've been keeping up with my Pokemon, going out today for the first catch, first spin, and first stamp. I haven't even been able to do much of that, though. Just once a day, go out and do a few things real quick, come home, and then go back into doing some stuff. So I guess until the next video, this is John Wolf signing off for the moment. I guess I'll catch you later. And stay safe, all of you.